Yo, what's going on, guys? Sekapoko here, bringing you another Genshin Impact video. For this, we're going over artifacts and what you should be doing between every AR 30, 35, 40 to 45, and what I've experienced, what I've done, and what the mistakes I've been going forward are. So, guys, without further ado, let's go and jump right into it. All right. So, artifact grinding is pretty much the end game grind. And when you're grinding artifacts, there's a ton that you can do for getting lots of different things. So when we go into the total amount of artifacts, you can see this is the giant wall of legendary artifacts that I have. Yes, I have this many. And you know what? I've probably destroyed twice as many. And the reason I've destroyed twice as many is because I'm always on the hunt for more artifacts. Now, one of the things you'll notice in here, there's a giant row of plus 20 artifacts and a lot of other ones that are not even leveled at all. Now, what happens when I do artifact grinding is that there are many different types of artifacts, different artifact sets that I need to grind, but there's also purple artifacts that are a little bit better. So when I go into different artifacts, you can see this one right here has energy, recharge rate, defense, attack, and crit damage. This is not a really good artifact. This is in fact a very mid artifact. What there are is there are a lot of good artifacts out there that are very top tier, what are going to be based on these substat rolls rather than just a legendary piece. So going into the artifacts, you can see this piece right here has a 35 attack, 9.3 defense, and then has a lot of HP. Not the best one ever. But then we go to this one over here. This one is a must freaking have beast. This is an Omegalodon god tier piece. This piece is insane. The reason it's so good is its attack. It has a flat attack value, which is almost as good as a percent attack value. It depends, like really close values, by the way. Attack percentage on it, crit damage percent, and elemental mastery, all of which make this piece insanely powerful. So what I have to do as a player is I'm constantly looking for more and more legendary artifacts, but the thing you're always going to need is the main stat roll. The two things that are going to be very different for those main stat rolls, of course, are going to be the plumes, and of course the other one is going to be the flowers. Now, flowers, you got to be really careful on these substat rolls that you're going to have here and make sure that you have the best possible ones. And the way that you get those, of course, is by constantly farming them and getting super freaking lucky. Now, I farmed artifacts every day for about 3 weeks, and I have been constantly pushing them almost every single day. There are a couple days where I ended up farming XP, a couple days where I'm farming bosses, etc. But most times I've been farming artifacts almost 5 out of the 7 days of the week. And the reason for artifact farming is actually very important and past AR 35, not so much at AR 35 to 40, and I'll go over why in a bit. And really important between 40 and 45 is because you're going to need a crap load of artifact XP. And even if you're thinking, oh wait, what if I don't farm artifacts at AR 40? What if I don't do it at AR 35? Well, I will be going over those two things. So first thing for artifacts. Now, the really good artifact dungeons start opening up at adventure rank 35, and then you start getting more. So you start getting 30 ones here. Rank 35, you get even more. But rank 40 is where you start getting the legendary artifacts, and legendary artifacts are not necessarily the best pieces. Now, you can actually have purple pieces that are going to be on point of the legendary pieces. So if I go into my artifacts here, you can see if I go to, say, this piece, let's go to a piece over here. So this piece over here has elemental mastery. This one has crit damage on it, so it would be a very valuable piece for like Amber. This one is crit chance, but let's go and look at the substats here. The substats on this piece have for crit chance have 9.9% attack, a very high amount of HP, a very high amount of HP again, and then a high amount of defense. So if we go to this piece over here, this one has 10% crit damage. Also not as good, but if I did get other rolls, it'd be even better. I do have a decent piece around here somewhere where I have this piece right here, and this gladiator piece as actually probably better for crit damage than the crit chance on this piece. So like if I wanted to build a crit damage build and go with this piece here, since it has 8.4% crit damage to start with, to go ramp up, I actually start with 3 good rolls. And for legendary pieces as well as purple pieces, what I did notice is that there are a lot of modifiers that are changed the amount of rolls that you get. I've seen up to 4, but most times 3, the amount of rolls you can get. So this piece right here, you can see has 4 rolls on it. So the The thing with any kind of legendary artifact piece is you get somewhere between 3 to 4 rolls on the actual piece, and purple pieces get somewhere between 2 and 3. You can see this one has 2, and whereas this one over here has 3. So sometimes you're able to get a large amount of rolls on a piece right away, which actually is already a boosted piece. So you need to know that when you're farming for artifacts, a 3-rolled artifact piece is on a purple piece is a very good piece regardless of the rolls. Like, you're gonna have to find the best rolls. But then if you look into legendary pieces, you want one with a 4 or more artifact rolls already, which is really, really interesting, because most of the pieces that you're gonna get are gonna have 3 rolls on them, and I think I saw a couple of 4. So it's extremely rare to get that 4th roll on the piece. Sometimes the rolls will double up, so it's really hard to tell if it has 3 or 4. But what you'll have to notice is like the rolls that you get for the legendary pieces are going to be very different depending on the modifiers. Usually the percentages that you get are also RNG too from a fixed range, so you're going to get a different amount for those as well. I believe this one, since this one has crit damage, attack, and attack, you can see this piece right here, unfortunately, is a very good rolled piece in the substat range, but not so well rolled here. And the thing is, even when farming artifacts between 40 and 45, you're going to need to continuously farm artifacts. And the reason you're going to need to continuously farm artifacts between 35, as I said 35, and I'll go over why 35 in a bit, but you don't farm it from the dungeons, and 45 is that you're going to need to continuously feed the bad artifacts all to the good artifacts. And when you get a good artifact, you can just feed those into it. The experience that you get from any piece when you're leveling artifacts is actually really interesting. So if we go to, let's see if I can find a piece. Let's go to this piece right here. If I wanted to enhance this piece here, Pomona, it's not really a good piece. For a blue piece, I get 1260 XP. For a purple piece, I get about double that, 2500. And if I go to a legendary piece, I get 3780. So it's not a massive difference that you get between a purple and a legendary, but you get a little bit more. So the amount of XP that you're going to need between the pieces is very, very, very large, and you're going to need to continuously get more and more artifacts during that time frame so you have enough XP. Whenever you feed another piece to another piece and you already have like some XP on it, 90% of the XP that you've gained on that one piece will actually transfer over. So sometimes what will happen is like you'll get the 2 times modifier and the 5 times modifier that you will get for any of these artifact level ups. And what I'll do is at times is I'll actually find a piece like this one here, and I'll continuously level it up and try to get as much as I can on it. And then when I find another upgrade piece, let's say if I found, let's see, this one right here is a geo damage piece. When I want to get rid of this piece, I have this other geo damage piece here on a legendary, and what I can actually do is feed this particular geo damage piece right here up to my legendary and actually get more geo damage out of it. But unfortunately, what I'm missing for this piece in particular is I actually need to get a set bonus for gladiator before I do that. So then I have to like continuously like move over. So if I go to my Ningwing right now and I wanted to get the right pieces, what I need is I need a gladiator piece with crit damage on it. Unfortunately, I have not gotten a legendary gladiator piece with crit damage, but I have gotten a purple one with crit damage, which I could feed into, which would be an okay way to go. I can then level this one up, and then I would need to have another gladiator piece, which would be a time piece here, like this one over here, that has attack rolls on it in order to build that up. But I haven't gotten a legendary piece with time, a legendary time piece yet, and if I do get one, then I can actually use that for my Ningwing and then upgrade my gear even further, and then take this geo damage piece and take it to the next level. But what you do is you save the very good pieces that you very much like, and then eventually you feed onto those pieces. But until you get to all the other artifacts that you need, you're continuously farming different artifacts to get the right set bonuses so that you can get the most damage. Now, the 3 big tips that I want to give you for artifact dungeon grinding between 35 and up. The first thing for artifact grinding for 35 and up, what you want to do for artifact grinding is very simple. You only farm bosses. You only farm the cryo regisvine, the animal hypostasis, the electro hypostasis. You only farm those. Do not farm artifact dungeons at all. If you are looking to get better artifacts, what you need to do at between 35 and 40 is you need to farm bosses. And I know they cost a ridiculous amount of resin to do. You don't have to burn your resin on them all the time, but this is what you definitely need to do. Once you hit AR36, I'd say move over to getting book grinding, because that's when the this tier book dungeon unlocks, so you can get more talent books, so you can actually switch over to talent books at that point and do AR36 talent book grinding, and you can ping pong between that and artifacts. But if you're trying to get better artifacts, you need to farm these. So the next thing I'm going to be told, of course, is Sekapoko, but you're a whale. You're able to get resin. You can do resin refreshes, those kinds of things. Well, here's what I'm doing right now on my free-to-play account, so you can give an idea of what to expect. So on my free-to-play account right now, I've only focused focused on 2 major artifact sets. I have focused on the ones that I have for my Kaya build right now, which are just basically just a full attack set and some cryo piece right here, just randomly got it. And then I've actually not focused on other units. You can see that my Zhangling doesn't really have any artifacts on her because I don't really use her. I just use her for the resonance bonus. I focus on my Amber here to get myself more damage on my Amber. I then don't even focus on my Chi-Chi. She just has random pieces right now, and I might give her a little bit more a little bit later. But the next character I'm actually focusing on is my Venti, and I'm actually going to be focusing on Venti a little bit more so I can get more progression in, say, the Spiral Abyss. And I'm actually focusing specifically on good artifacts. So if I go to my artifact builds for this kit, this set here, you'll notice that I have exceptionally less artifacts built out. I only have these ones built out, and I haven't really farmed a lot of artifacts. What I do is I farm bosses, and the reason I farm bosses is because that helps me get the Gladiator pieces and the Wanderer Troop pieces. Gladiator and Wanderer Troop are very, very good because a lot of the other pieces you're going to get are going to be Instructor, Exile, and Berserker sets. Now, Berserker sets can last you a very, very long time throughout the game, and if you do want to make sure that you have the amount of Berserker pieces that you need, you can of course do that. Now, what's really cool about the Berserker sets is you can actually go with attack builds, you can go with crit builds, whatever you want to do for the Berserker pieces, and you'll always have a very, very good spot. What's really nice about these pieces that I found to be very, very valuable is that if you do want to later on, you want to switch off of a 4 set of Berserker, you can switch 2 Berserker pieces onto 2 other characters, and then you'll have one character with 2 Berserker pieces and another character with 2 Berserker pieces. And that allows you to get the crit chance builds for those characters so that you can kind of progress those a little bit better. For the legendary pieces here, I've just farmed a few of them. I just got lucky on a couple of the weeks. You shouldn't be really trying to get a large amounts of legendary artifacts until AR 40, but if you're trying to get large amounts of artifacts and try to get a little bit better sets for Gladiator sets and other things, definitely focus more on doing the boss runs instead of doing other things. The boss runs, of course, do take a lot of resin, and that's why I don't have a ton of artifacts built out for my AR35 character, but I don't really think I'm going to get a lot more artifacts on characters until I get closer to AR40. What I need to do now on my free-to-play account is focus on the books. I actually just hit AR36 on my account right here, and the things I need to focus on the most is going to be talent books, so I can upgrade the talents for my characters to get more value out of my attacks, and I can do that for my primary DPS characters. And then what I'll do is I'll focus on a total of, say, 4 units. I'll do 2 on each team, and I'll have 2 units for primary DPS that are going to be like a primary and off DPS on one team, and then another set of 2 on the primary and off DPS on another team. And then the offset artifacts, I'm just going to give those to characters that are like characters or support characters or healers or whatnot that I need to give them, and I'll just give them small amounts of upgrades over time. You don't need to fully max out these characters. You just need to make sure that they have a little bit of work done on them. The thing what I've really noticed about this game is I can do a lot of work with just 2 characters in my team, and the other characters I can use for like support and elemental resonance to get more damage out of them. So if you do want to do that, this is one of the ways that you can do it. If you wanted to upgrade other characters a little bit less on artifacts, what you can do, what a lot of people end up doing, is they spread out their artifacts and get a lot less resources, spread the resources over multiple characters. Now, the first 2 times I played this game, that's actually what I did. I actually spread out artifact XP over multiple characters and got everything like +8, then to +12, then to +16 eventually, and that was a really, really smart way of playing. But this time around, what I've done is actually just focused on 2 characters. I've actually gone to +16 or +20 on all artifacts on just 2 characters, and what this has done is helped me in one way by helping me progress faster because I'm able to kill things a lot quicker, but it has also pulled me back a little bit because I'm not able to progress in the Spiral Abyss as hard. So one of the things I need to do, of course, is farm bosses to get more characters leveled up, and that's why I'm now focusing on it between 35 and 40, and then I'll have a very easy time through Spiral Abyss between the Spiral Abyss 5 through 8. And because I'm building out characters specifically for that, I will have a lot easier time doing it. But the 2 sets that I'm going to need for all the other characters in the game, of course, which is really interesting, are going to be the Wanderer Troop set and the Gladiator set, both of which I'm going to be farming while farming bosses, giving me the most gain. Well, guys, I know this has been kind of a lengthier video, just talking about artifacts and what I do for the tips and tricks for artifacts between AR 30 and 45, and gives you an idea of what to expect and why you should be farming specific things over your time frames for your resin. I hope this helps you out in some way. My name is Sekapoko. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about artifact grinding, what you need to do, all that stuff, and why you think those things are the best to do for these characters. If you want to know best builds and notes for different characters, I have an entire playlist. If you want to link to that, of course, in the description below for best artifact builds for specific characters so you can understand what to do. Have a great day, guys. Peace.